The echo of resilience. From exile to reconciliation, the story of the Aylesbury revival, our story, spans centuries, beginning in the tumultuous 17th century crisis of the British monarchy. The Aylesbury name, historically associated with the land and the crown, found itself on the wrong side of power during the Glorious Revolution of 1688, when the Catholic King James II was deposed and replaced by William III and Lay II, and later when the 1700 Act of Settlement excluded the Stuart line, the constitutional door slammed shut on their political allies. This rupture, this foundation for political exclusion and wrongful exile, led to the displacement of families like the Aylesburys, stripping them of wealth, titles, and political standing. The only option for survival was reinvention far from the center of power. Throughout this journey, the names Morgan, Thomas, Bruce, William, James, and Michael have been passed down through successive generations of the Aylesbury line. This sustained tradition acts as a genealogical code, quietly asserting the persistence and the unbroken lineage despite the historical exile. This tenacity is first vividly seen in the Scottish connection. The pioneer James Aylesbury, born in Kirkcaldy, Fife, Scotland, in 1833, carried the family's ambition to Australia. He served the Marine Department, but his true material success was forged in Queensland, where he was employed by the immensely powerful Mount Morgan Gold Mining Company for many years. This pivotal location, named after the successful Morgan brothers who developed the gold mine, links the name Morgan not only to the family's traditional naming code, but also directly to the source of their renewed success and establishment in Australia, further solidified by the military service of his descendants like Thomas William Aylesbury. This deep commitment to the crown transcended mere civic life and manifested in profound military sacrifice. Across the Commonwealth, spanning both Australia and Canada, the Aylesbury family upheld a vital tradition of duty, obligation, and sacrifice during the great global conflicts of World War I and World War II. During these struggles, members of the family line answered the sovereign's call to service, joining forces like the Australian Imperial Force and the Royal Air Force. This tradition of immediate and unquestioning service confirmed their fierce loyalty, costing the lives of family members who fell in action, further cementing their status as dedicated citizens willing to pay the ultimate price for the safety and preservation of the Commonwealth. The next generation of the revival took root across the Commonwealth in British Columbia, Canada. The new foundation was laid by James John Aylesbury, who arrived as a ship's carpenter and by 1920 established the family's first modern homestead, the now recognized Aylesbury Mundy House heritage site in Coquitlam, BC. This was a classic return from exile, rebuilding status not through inherited privilege, but through meritocratic service and economic contribution. The true turning point, the public reversal of the exile, came in the mid-20th century through Albert Thomas Tom Aylesbury. Serving in a high civic role, A.T. Aylesbury was the mayor of Vancouver between 1959 and 1962. In a moment captured by history and preserved in the family's records, Mayor Aylesbury, wearing the full authority of his civic chain of office, personally hosted Queen Elizabeth II during her 1959 royal tour to Canada. The visual evidence, the mayor standing shoulder to shoulder with the sovereign at the opening of the Queen Elizabeth Theatre, is the ultimate symbolic proof that the family line was no longer politically suspect, but fully integrated and trusted as a pillar of the Commonwealth. This reconciliation was formalized for the next generation. The highest institutional endorsement came with the conferral of the Order of Canada to J. Stuart Aylesbury, appointed a member CM on July 4, 1978. The Order of Canada, one of the nation's highest civilian honors, is invested by the Governor-General as the personal representative of the sovereign, making it a direct royal recognition. The insignia of the order, bearing the royal crown and the motto Desiderantes Meliorum Patrium, is the physical embodiment of this forgiveness and acceptance. The official citation specifically commended J. Stuart Aylesbury's 35 years of service in the lumber and shipping industries, noting that he enjoyed the respect of successive federal ministers of transport. This language of state documentation confirms that the Aylesbury line is viewed by the Crown as loyal, respected, and successful, serving as the constitutional opposite of the historical exiled status. Finally, the narrative control over this history rests with the current generation. Michael Bruce Aylesbury, who embodies this tradition of inherited names including Morgan, Thomas, Bruce, William, James, and Michael, plays a crucial role as the dedicated manager and custodian of the Aylesbury and Alsbury notable profile information on major genealogical platforms, including profiles for historical ancestors such as Albert Thomas Aylesbury. This unique position extends to overseeing Aylesbury's sensitive notable profile information and, notably, maintaining custodial control over the specific image linking his family to the late Queen of England on her own genealogical profile. This action is profoundly symbolic. By actively curating the visual documentation that links their ancestral line with the most senior figure of the modern monarchy and maintaining administrative access to that shared historical record, the Aylesbury family asserts not only their reconciliation but also their continuing intimate connection to the historical and genealogical narrative of the crown. This act cements the family's status, no longer subjects of historical exclusion, but active and integral contributors to the monarchy's historical narrative and a fully reconciled Commonwealth line. The Aylesbury revival is thus proven not only by high honours and royal photos, but by the enduring ability of the family to manage and assert its central place in the story of the crown.